I need you with this food spot thing. Are you sure? You ready? I mean, we're going now.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. But you thinking about any food spots? Because right now you're on Instagram.
Look, man, I gotta...
My guest is on Instagram. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Lil Podcast. It's episode number 4, I believe. I think we're going to talk about food spots, RKelly, and a little bit of politics. My guest is the MidnightSol, or Shoal, if you're from that neck of the woods. He put Instagram away.
Sure did.
I guess he's ready. Yeah. Again, guys, welcome, and hopefully you guys are having a good day. Everyone's feeling blessed, feeling good. That's super gay to make sure people are feeling good. You're right. I love how all my guests are like super sarcastic. I love it. And I feel like it's gonna become my niche between you and Reap. I feel like every white dude who comes in studio. Don't worry, this is about race.
That's the dude you choose.
You're right. Don't worry. Next week will be better. I got RKelly coming. But no, I am actually. Now I'm speaking of it. Next week I am supposed to have. He doesn't even have a real web handle, but my friend Ron, who's going to come in and talk about like CBD and THC and the benefits of each and versus. And he's a real. You already know.
Fresh off the bus.
Yeah, fresh off the bus. This nigga's fresh off the bus, bruh. He drives. He drives. But yeah, not to blow up Ron's spot. Yeah, he should be in either this weekend or next week. But for today, we have the MidnightSol. You can follow him on Instagram and find him on Facebook. You can like link that later.
Okay.
All right. That's gay. But all right, guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about like local food spots in the RVA area, because if you live in the RVA or if you're traveling through, and I feel like everyone's like 3 degrees separated from each other anyways when it comes to who we all know. So I'm pretty sure if you aren't from the RVA, or if you don't live around the RVA or the Tri-City areas, then you probably know someone who's from the area.
Definitely, dude. We're only 1 degree away from West Virginia, so of course we all know each other.
Hell yeah, bro. Exactly, man. Everyone's related, bro. West Virginia's right there. If you live in West Virginia, nah. I actually know a few people in West Virginia. Shout out Lex. Shout out Miss. It's like starts with a T, but yeah. Sorry, but there's a few. I know 2 people in West Virginia. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Shout out Lex. Hope she's doing cool. But local food spots in the RVA, and we might talk about West Virginia food spots. To be honest, I went to a few. Asian food is actually having a really weird resurgence up there, like in the mountains. Like a lot of people really like sushi and everything. And speaking of sushi, the first spot I wanted to bring up was Wabi Sabi. It's located on Bank Street in Petersburg, and they have really good sushi, guys, and really good like their tap is pretty good. All the beer they have on tap is pretty good. A lot of draft beers,
a lot of
local stuff too, and and music of course too. I've attended like maybe 3 or 4 of the shows. I think Nick came to one with me. Reap came to one with me. I've gone to a few by myself, and they have a really eclectic group of people coming to perform for them, and it's really just it's a great spot. I mean, I've never been to Seattle, Washington, but from what I hear and from what I see, it's almost like it's like a Seattle, Washington place in Petersburg and shit. And I know you've been, man. Again, the time you went with me, I'm sure you've been a few other times. I'm not sure, but what do you feel about Wabi Sabi from what you've seen?
I think the whole Old Town area is unfortunately overrun with the older generations. There's not really a young local scene in Old Town.
Yeah,
like if you go to places like Longstreaks or
right.
Even City Table. I mean, it's mostly an older population.
Right.
Not really a lot of stuff for the local young adults to do outside of like RVA.
Yeah, I feel like when you go into like a place like Wabi Sabi, you go there for the music, and that's cool. And then, like, if the person who's performing the music is like in their 40s, 50s, I don't care what age you are. If you're an artist, you're an artist. That's it. But when it comes to kind of the people around you, it's like sometimes I feel fucking judged. Just walking into any of those places, again, like you mentioned, like Longstreets, and these are all like in like the whole, because again they don't know what Old Town is. You gotta kind of tell them like everything in that whole like 3-4 block radius, like the little downtown area of Petersburg called Old Town. You're right. It is a lot of like older folks there,
I mean, if you go to Wabi Sabi on a Saturday night, be prepared to see a drunk 40-year-old woman, belly dancing to Lynyrd Skynyrd.
yeah. I mean, I like that exactly. I'm not sure if it was you or if it was the time I went.
It was me.
With Reap. It was the I forget exactly. They were playing like a song by that band that was big in the 70s. I can't remember, but they were playing God, that's like the band that made like I want you to want me down, I need. They were playing one of their songs. They were covering one of their songs, not that song, but one of them. If you could pull it up, like I can't remember.
It's Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. There we go. Yeah, it was Cheap Trick. They were doing like Cheap Trick songs and things in that genre. And these, they came up these like group of like soccer moms. They're not even like they're like ex-soccer moms. Like you could tell their kids like just
a couple divorces.
Yeah, so not even that. You could tell like their kids like just started college or something. Like it was one of those things where like they had just gotten an empty nest. You could tell because they were all like solo. Single white women, independent, out having a night out. Holy shit! And they were just they were enjoying themselves. It's not to hate on them. Shout out to them, but it was such a weird culture clash. Like we're like over here with like these like people like in their early to mid 20s, and it's like there's these women like in like their mid 40s like enjoying themselves. And again, I'm sure they pay way more to Wabi Sabi than we ever have, but. I was like, damn, man, I wish there was a place around here for younger people. Like, that is a real thing. Like, there's not a lot of places in Central VA, really, in general, even in Richmond, places like that, but especially down here in the Tri-City area, in Hopewell, Petersburg, and Colonial Heights, where it's like, there's nowhere to really fucking go. If you want to have a good time, there's nowhere to go if you want to, just kind of enjoy yourself with a few friends. There are places, obviously like Wabi Sabi, Long Street. Across the street, they have the Alibi, which is a huge place when it comes to the older crowd. But I mean, if I wanted to walk in and have a beer, I could. And
I mean, we have.
No, I haven't. I've never gone to the Alibi. Have you been to the Alibi?
Pretty sure I've been to every bar in Old Town.
The Alibi is that one that's on the corner, man. It's the one that's on the corner and like has like the little, like their little like not food truck.
I know what you mean. I've been.
I've never been in there because it's just...
It was super uncomfortable when I went, man, because they have a very small bar, and it was completely packed with boomers. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it wasn't bad. I didn't feel judged. They were doing their own thing, but it was just... I was very out of place.
Yeah, and I guess like out of place. But I mean that makes sense though, because I mean it is like their city. I mean they've lived here longer and everything, and maybe that's something that people in places like LA and New York don't really experience because it's like there's so many people. There's like more of a mixed crowd, but like down here it's like if you're a young person, like you do kind of stand out, especially if it's like a night where people are out spending like a lot of money, and like a holiday like Valentine's Day and even like Columbus Day and like random holidays. The old folks, I shouldn't say old folks, but like the middle-aged crowd, really, like, they'll show up and they'll come out, and even some of the old folks, they'll come out and they'll definitely be filling up Old Town. That noise, by the way, do you want to explain that noise?
What noise?
What noise? This nigga's playing with change in his back pocket. This nigga's got the but no, I wanted to kind of dude, what is the word when you want to go from one thing to another? Transition. I wanted to transition. I wanted to pull a fucking Jenner real quick, and take a real quick detour.
Jeez.
But yeah, that's another thing too. You doing that reminded me. For y'all who don't know, he was banging like his Mjolnir, kind of like on his teeth a little bit, and like it caught my attention. And it's one thing that makes me think of the fact that it's not just older folks. Like that's not really what I feel like the problem is. Or like there's no problem, but the thing that makes me really think of Old Town as far as a place where boomers go to kind of spend their money is that like culturally it is kind of isolated. Like not just ethnically, but I mean like culturally. There's usually like one type of boomer down there. You know, and that's the thing too. Like I feel like Old Town would really benefit from some tourist recognition. You know, I see commercials for North Dakota. Come to North Dakota, and we have all these cool like mountains and all these great meadows. And it's like, how come, like, the Tri-City area or even Richmond? How come we don't have those commercials playing? because I'm not aware of any that say, "Hey, come to Richmond, come to Central Virginia, and see all this great history."
Don't play within the area.
Well, yeah, they're not going to play. Well, yeah, of course they're not going to play here, but I don't. But again, I don't know of any. You know what I mean? And it's not a super common thing. Like, you don't hear about, like, oh, well, here, come to Silver Springs, this, that, and the third. I've seen, it's a niche. So you're right, they wouldn't play in the local area, but I don't think those exist. And again, I might be wrong, but, I mean, you can look it up. I don't have the time to right now, but it's one of those things where, again, regardless if those commercials are playing, no one's listening to them.
I think a big part of the reason why the area that we live in gets so much more, attraction from older people is it's more of a historical site. Old Town is a historical area.
Yeah, all the Civil War stuff.
So all the tourists, they don't come for, whatever have you. They're coming for historical tourism. Yeah,
it's not Miami. It's definitely not Miami. People aren't coming for beaches and girls and celebrities and music and all that necessarily. From time to time, we do have celebrities from this area, but you're right. It's people. The tourism that we do have is definitely historic. Tourism, but still, it's like we only focus on like one little aspect of it. It seems like the Civil War, and that's all there is to see. But it's like, well, that kind of like that leads out into so many other things. I mean, like indigenous, like Native American populations, the indigenous. Well, I mean, at a certain point, indigenous, but I shouldn't say indigenous, but like settlers, immigrants. African American history, all different types of things. I mean, different ethnic and cultural histories around here. There's a lot more we can capitalize on. Like those two dudes we ran into at the museum, and that's, I want to hold that for later. But like those two dudes we ran into at the museum, I mean, there is a market for that. Like I might not support their message, but if I can make some money and maybe they can make some money too, I wouldn't have a problem capitalizing all of that. Maybe not take the statues down, these Confederate statues, perhaps capitalize off of them existing. There are a lot of people that would travel to see those. But on this side, that side, doesn't matter. There are many people who will travel to see those. And that's important for the country, and it's also important for our pockets. But we're going to get to that at the end. Were there any other like spots in Old Town? Like, I don't want to call it Boomer Town, but
it's kind of what it is.
Sort of, yeah. We might have to hashtag Boomer Town this thing, but you did mention Long Streets, which, by the way, I like. That might be like one of my favorite spots, like in the area. Like, I like Wabi Sabi a lot, but as far as like pricing and everything, I feel like Long Streets, from their pricing and all the way they treat people, they seem like they're more about like the middle class. Whereas I feel like Wabi Sabi is more about like again, they're more about their music, which again, that's like, I feel like they're across classes, what have you. And City Table is more of it's like a nicer place for couples to go.
Yeah.
But Long Streets is my favorite spot.
City Table is pretty interesting because it's within a historical site. It was within the historical farmers market.
Yeah, the farmers market.
So I think that's why a lot of older people are attracted to City Table. It has more of a chill vibe. They have I think it's Fridays. They have a saxophone player that comes in and plays. That dude. I think we might be that dude's number one fan. Like, you know what I mean? Cause we gave him $1.
Yeah, hey, not $1, dude. I tip that guy whenever I can. I tip him. I think I've tipped him like at least $5, which isn't a lot, but I'm just still like, he's like, the dude who comes like by like that little like the door at the main entrance, and like he sits like if you're looking at the door, he sits like off to the left, and he plays his heart out, man. But he doesn't play like saxophone like do 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 do. He plays like remix. He plays covers of like 80 songs, 90 songs. I think he's done. I don't, not hip hop, but he's done R&B songs. He'll do R&B songs. He'll do pop songs. He's across the board. He's really talented too. He's a sharp player. He's about his shit too, man. Have you seen him pack up? I remember one night I saw him packing up, and like he has like a whole little trailer. He doesn't just put that shit like in the back of his sedan or whatever. He fucking has like a whole little trailer in the back of his car. He loads his shit up, his like amp and all that. Wish I knew his name. I'd give him a shout out, but again, he's a boomer. So he wouldn't even be aware of this podcast.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "What is that? A radio show?" "No, sir, a podcast." "What?
Yeah.
A pod? It was an alien technology?" Nah.
But yeah, City Table is a pretty nice place to go if you're just looking for a chill time. Shout out to Alex, the bartender.
Yeah, Alex. That's our nigga
he's
too.
A good guy.
Yeah, he's cool. What's something you order at City Table a lot? Like, I like the blue cheese burger, and I've seen you get that before. What's something that you like?
I like the surf and turf burger. It's I get it with a crab. It's a crab cake and a sirloin, an Angus sirloin burger. It's like $16, but it's pretty good.
Hell yeah, man. It's like a sirloin burger. So like, it's so it sounds like it's like. Do you get it like well done? Do you get it like?
No, dude, medium rare.
You get it like medium rare. Yeah, I think that's the best way to get beef or anything that's like steak.
I mean, if you watch like cooking shows or anything like that, like if you watch Gordon Ramsay for say, he always orders his steaks medium rare because it is the better way to get beef.
It seems that way, yeah, and that's what I've heard people like Gordon Ramsay say, like on TV and
it's
like,
fucking raw.
Yeah, it's fucking raw. If you fucking see that shit, he's a character too, Ramsay, man.
He must know how to fight.
Well, he's got to with that mouth. Oh my god, that's one thing I've learned as far as someone who runs their mouth a lot. It's like you even if you're not the toughest guy, like you gotta be prepared to fight a little bit because oh my god, man, I've seen a few. I remember one clip in particular I've seen from when he was on like the Gordon Ramsay, was that what it was called? The Gordon Ramsay show or whatever?
It's, he does MasterChef,
I think it's
Hell's Kitchen. And,
it was Hell's Kitchen. It was what it was. It was Hell's Kitchen. It was like,
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, yes, Kitchen Nightmares. You're right. It was Hell's Kitchen though. It was one where he had them all like line up and some dude wanted to fight him, man. So yeah, he must be able to handle himself a little bit if he has that mouth on him.
He's probably packing.
So oh yeah, something. I mean, maybe a little bit of both. You need both. But he says that to get it like medium rare, and I hear that a lot. And it's good to go off like examples of like people who know what the hell they're talking about. He is a chef; he's famous for it. And he always gets a medium rare. That's usually how I order my stuff. I used to order well done when I was younger because I didn't know any better. Yeah, man, because my mom would always be like, she wouldn't get it well done, but she would order it well done for me, and I think that's because she thought that I would like not want to eat it if I saw like blood or something. So like, or any type of like pink, and she was always like, because again, like early 2000s, there were a lot of like salmonella issues and like coli. I heard about that a lot growing up. Mad cow disease. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit. And then like when I got a little older, swine flu. Like so like yeah. So I mean, I think my mom was worried about that. So she would always get her meats like cooked again, well done. Oh, not well done, but again like medium rare. And there are other like levels. There are many more levels, but you get them like mainly medium rare.
Right.
And but I would get it well done, but it wasn't until I was like a teenager, and I was like, holy shit, medium rare.
Well, it ain't too bad.
Yeah, medium rare. It's not even like at that point I don't even consider it blood, man, because if it's medium rare, it's like it's at that point it's like again you're eating muscle. Like meat is just muscle with like some fat on it. It's like at that point it's like it's fucking it's sauce. Like, you know what I'm saying? At that point, nigga, that's just you like real shit though, you know. But yeah. But I do like City Table because they do have a very high quality food. I just feel like with Long Streets, it's like their fruit is what got me again. Like they have like if you get fruit as a side, they give you a lot. Damn, man, it'd be cool if these people paid me. Because I'm kind of forcing you to talk about
We are open to sponsors.
Yeah, we are open to sponsorships, you know, to help with the effort. Like real shit though. Like, we are open to sponsorships and
yeah, just DM me on Instagram, the.midnight.sol.
He's a guest, everyone. If you want to sponsor this show, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram, Richmond's favorite son. But again, the.midnight.sol. He is the guest today. You fucker. All right. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we pretty much have like been marketing agents for all of Old Town. But do you want to talk about Carytown really quick up in Richmond? It's a few miles north of us. You went there today, right?
Yeah, I mean, every time you go up to Carytown, there's always a new restaurant or new shop opening up, it seems. I went to a American Asian fusion restaurant today. I don't remember the name of it. It was a pretty cool place. I don't know, man. I think we focus too much on fusion. Especially, like, in the more... I don't want to say... Liberal's not the right word, but in the more trendy... areas we try to focus on, like they do a lot of fusion restaurants,
like in the city, like in the urban, like urban environments, like in the city.
I personally prefer like traditional restaurants. If it's gonna be Asian cuisine, then like just go all out with it. I wouldn't eat a burger from an Asian restaurant. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Or it's like, well, you wouldn't eat like a burger from like. Right. Well, you wouldn't eat a burger from like a sushi spot. You wouldn't
order a steak from IHOP.
Right, like if the place doesn't match up culturally. Like yeah, right. Like I wouldn't go into a chicken place and expect the fish to be really good. That's probably like a more palatable way to say it. Like only reason being because I've like gone to a few like places where like it's an Oriental like place, and their burger's actually really good. But again, that's like Food Dog on Main Street in Richmond, because they make a really good burger. But again, they don't center around like their sushi and like specifically Asian cuisine. Like they center around. It's really not a fusion place at all, but like, they pretty much show like the side of Asian cuisine that is like palatable to Americans. So their burgers are good. They do have a lot of noodles like ramen and stuff like that, but like their ramen it's not I don't want to.
It's Americanized.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's what
it's top ramen, dude.
It's what well, no, it's definitely not top ramen. It's like higher quality, but it's what Americans like would eat. You know what I mean? It's like almost like if you look at like a taco from Mexico, it's like. Or the Mexican taco, it's like just it's beef and it's fucking and it's tomatoes and it's lettuce and that's what a burger is.
They do the same thing in other countries too. If you go to, I don't know if it was Japan or China,
that's annoying if you do that.
They have a McDonald's and it has like a soy wrapper on it or something like that.
Yeah,
it's more palatable to their specific taste.
Yeah, right. So they could and it's not that McDonald's doesn't make that, but McDonald's does make that in that region. I don't know. Because I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, you don't want to like fuse all the restaurants like together and all these different cultures together. But I think sometimes it's not even like fusion. Like with Food Dog, again, it's not fusion at all. Like it's not. Trust me, they are not trying to like appease the American taste buds. Like it's all Asian cuisine. Because again, I mean the burger isn't even American. It's actually German. You know, so it's almost like I don't know. But yeah, like there's like a fucking place, like there's like a Jamaican spot down the road, but they also do like a lot of seafood, which they do in Jamaica. But it's like damn, like why y'all trying to just focus on Jamaica, bro? Like why y'all gotta like appeal to like we also got salmon. All right, nigga, I don't think salmon's in Jamaica. Like it's not a salmon's like it's a river fish. I'm pretty sure.
What's interesting about that is if you watch Kitchen Nightmares with again Gordon Ramsay, one thing he focuses on a lot is. In restaurants that are failing, a lot of the time the problem is that the menu is too big. There's too many choices and too many options on the menu. People don't know what to order. Yeah. If you have like a niche, you should stick with that niche. I've seen restaurants with those giant
like menus, like big,
menus,
like,
menus that were failing. And
it's
once
okay, man.
Once he cut it down to like 15 items, right. Man, it people took to it a lot better.
Yeah, like what they're good at actually making. Because I've heard him say that too, and not just him, but like on a lot of those shows. Because I don't think I actually heard him say that. It might have been like Hotel Nightmares or something, which is hosted by that dude who looks like Pitbull, or not Pitbull. Like, yeah, this is his name. He looks like the rapper Pitbull. And he was saying that about how you guys have too many like choices, too much is going on, and like. And even a podcast I watch, Tiger Belly, with Bobby Lee and his girlfriend Kalila. I don't know her last name. It might as well be Lee at this point. They've been dating for a minute. Y'all might as well get married, by the way. Like, Jesus, y'all dating like niggas. Y'all waiting like 30 years to get married. But whatever, that's him. He's kind of crazy. But I'm a big fan of Bobby Lee. Mad TV all day. Anyways, I remember I watched an episode or a clip from their show where she said that about how like it's this place down the road and but like their menu is like it's small, like it's good. They have like 6 dishes that they kill, and that's what people go there for. People have their favorites.
People can get intimidated by a large menu.
Exactly, not knowing what to get. You're comparing prices. It's like you don't want people looking at your menu and thinking that like they're buying a house. It's like, Jesus, okay, and we have this, but it's 50% off if you get a side. If you get 3 sides with it, you get half off the last side. It's like, dude, math. Yeah, you gotta do math, and people don't want to do that, especially if you're out hanging out, your girl's with you, you got like 3 friends, everyone's talking, you're half drunk, got half a fucking bag on, you smoked in the car, you did, especially if it's Central VA, because we're all fucking depressed. So it's like you're gonna be fucked up when you go in. You won't do math, do a sliding scale of percentage. It makes no sense. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, and I think we both agree with like Ramsay and the greats. Like, yeah, keep your menu small. I kind of want to open up a donut shop with you now after this conversation. But yeah. Again, like
we're gonna name it Glory Holes.
Yes, dude, Glory Holes. Come up to the side. You can order and get your dick sucked. It's gonna be a girl. It's gonna be a girl. Anytime anybody...
Dude, You can't see the face, so you never know.
You never know. All you know
might be a slow day. You might have to call an old Robbie.
Yep, I'll call an old Robbie boy. Hey, don't use my name. You fucking asshole. Fucking dickhead. I used to work with a girl who used to call me old Robbie boy. It was that girl I told you about how I worked with her. We ended up like hooking up and shit. Like, she used to call me old Robbie boy. Because she was a nerd like me. She was cool. But, yeah, it's not... I have another story about that, but that's a different podcast. RKelly. I want to talk about RKelly. Midnight, you already told me you don't know a lot about RKelly, but I know a decent amount about RKelly. He used to be illiterate. He used to not be able to... It's not funny. I don't know why you laugh like that. Poor black man can't read. He thinks it's hilarious. So unfollow him if he... No, I'm joking. But no, that's a real thing though, dude. Like, RKelly couldn't read. He couldn't read. I remember that. Like, and I'm laughing now too. But it's kind of funny. Like, because it's funny too because, like, he's an adult. And, like, I know some adults can't read and that's real. But he's an adult and he's, like, an artist and, like, he's famous and has money. Like, you would think he would have learned how to read. But I remember hearing and, like, reading, like, articles and stuff when I was young where he couldn't read. I'm pretty sure that's true. I don't want to just, like, say that, but I'm pretty sure he couldn't fucking read. And he would, like, text his, like, daughter and stuff, and, like, that's how I'm pretty sure he can read now. I remember that being a thing. He could, like, read now, but he was pretty much illiterate. At least that's what people were saying. I think that's what he said. But, that's not what we're talking about now. It has nothing to do with him being illiterate. Now people are talking about him.
What's your excuse, though? I mean,
for being illiterate? Well, that's my thing.
In the United States.
That's my thing, though. But again,
in the United States, we have a 99%
right.
literacy rate. So what is your excuse for not being able to read and write?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, again, that's my ex point. That's why he got, you know, he peed on a 14-year-old girl, and, like, that's not Michael Jackson shit. That's not just, like, you know, random people lying on him. That's like video evidence. So if you're gonna pee on a 14-year-old and
why are you gonna video it? Why are you gonna videotape it?
Well, because you're the type of dude who can't read. That's my thing, Nick. That's my thing. I think some things it's not. Again, like I know people from bad situations.
He gets a pass because he can't read.
No. I know people from bad situations, worse situations than RKelly might have experienced who can read. That's my point. I don't think it's about the environment. I think he's probably just a little fucked up. He's peeing on girls, and that's what I want to go on with. Is that he used to, like, lock women in his big studio. Like, he had a big studio in LA, and he would lock women in the like the little, like, booths. When you go in like a any type of, like, sound recording studio, you have, like, the main mixing station, and you have, like, the booth on the other side of the glass, and he would have the women on like inside the booth. So, like, people who were cleaning, I guess, would just walk in and turn on the light. There was some light-skinned bitch from Alabama just tied up, or what? Not tied. I don't know if they were tied up, but that's where they would stay. You know, I'm pretty sure that's confirmed. That's where they would stay, and people would be like, "Oh, well, I don't want him to beat me up," so they would just leave it. You know.
I mean, if you're, I don't mean to talk bad or down on anyone, but if you're a cleaning person at a recording studio, you're not really in the position where you can complain.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Like, you're not trying to get fired, and
normally if you're making $8 an hour, typically you need that $8 an hour.
Right.
You can't really.
Not even 8. He was probably paying them more, man. Remember, this is LA. We're used to, like, Virginia shit. They were probably getting more than 8 an hour, but still, it's probably good.
The prices are higher in LA.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like equivalent to our $8.
Right. It's RKelly though, man. That's my thing too. You know, it's like you're working for someone who's not just a cleaning person. This isn't his house. This is like his studio. So it's like, I mean, this dude's got money. So, like, yeah, you're right though. It's like no one wants to sever ties with that. And also, it's like it's not like you walked in and saw, like, oh, the banking records aren't right. No, it's a chick she's a prisoner. Like, you know what I mean? This is different. Like, you're like, I ain't telling on nobody. This thing you got. It reminds me. I watched this. Have you seen It's called the Five, and it's I think it's called The Five. It's an Australian show about these, like, 5 kids who all knew each other, and one of them, his younger brother, got kidnapped. It's an Australian show, and it's really good. It's really well done. I really enjoyed it. I watched it in, like, a week's time, because I wanted to space it out. It was that good, where I didn't binge it. I wanted to space it out, you know. Some Netflix shows are like that, where, like, it's so good you don't even want to binge it. Like Vikings, like the show Vikings. Like, I'm sure you might binge on that or something, or, like, watch it or like
definitely.
It. Right, but it's like you enjoy it. So you might rewatch something. You might, you know what I mean? You might want to, like, let me rewatch season 2, but space it out. So that's what I did with The Five. Like, I was like, no, I don't want to watch episode 2 right now. It's really good, and it was.
You
like,
had to savor it.
I had to savor it, yeah, because it was, like, nourishing, like, to my mind. It was a really good show. But yeah, there was this. Back to the funny part about RKelly. It's not really funny because women were kidnapped, I guess, according to them. But in the 5, there's a scene where the guy's friend, like the friend of the guy whose little brother got kidnapped when they were all kids, he grows up to be a cop, and he's investigating this dude who was like this like big famous guy from Australia. He made some song in the 70s, and he's like one of the Beatles of Australia, or not even that, but he made like a jingle or whatever. He got a lot of money. Anyways,
Wonder.
Yeah, right. He's like a one-hit wonder, right? So not the Beatles, but he was like
he made like the Gangnam Style of...
Right, he was the Gangnam Style. Perfect. He was the Gangnam Style, yeah, of Australia at the time. And he had like a big house, and it was all nice. And he would have women chained up like behind, like in the same thing RKelly supposedly did, like behind the glass, like in the studio. And there's a scene in the show, because like the audience knows the women are back there, but the guy doesn't. Like the guy who was like the cop now, who like knew the kid when he was young, he doesn't know the girls are back there, and him and his like partner are sitting there, and he's like, yes, I don't know. There's something about this mirror. And he's like looking at the mirror and checking it out, and his fucking partner, who's like this lady, comes in like, I wonder what's going on. And she's looking around, and I'm not sure if it's her. I think it's him. Who like there's like a thing on the floor, and he like puts his foot on it. It might have been her because she was in the room. And then like the lights come on, like for like this like this like back part like behind the glass, in like the little recording booth, and like there's 3 women chained up, and they all just like run out towards the glass, like, help us! Holy shit! We've been here for an hour yelling at you. You can't hear us. Fucking help us! And it's like
that's some Saw type shit.
That's apparently some RKelly type shit, like some Saw shit. Like he's really, if this is all true, because I don't know RKelly, I've never been to LA, I don't know, I'm not a cop, I'm not him, I don't know, but it's like, dude, he's like Saw, he's like Jigsaw, like he wanted to put them in like cages, bro.
It makes you wonder like what's going on with the famous people in LA and Hollywood and stuff like that. Like you hear about just regular normal people doing some really sick, twisted stuff, but it seems to be at like a higher rate with the famous, the rich and famous.
Right.
So it makes you wonder like what fame does to you, or what kind of lives that they've lived that made them get up to that point.
It might, dude. That's my thing. Like, yeah, like you never know. If RKelly
is it a power trip? Like, yeah, I'm famous, I can chain you up, I can do what I want. It's a power trip, or is it like he experienced some like childhood trauma?
But no, that's my thing. I don't think it is. Like you're saying, if it's at a higher rate amongst like the rich and famous, it's almost like it's not. It seems like it's more environmental, but again, like most people aren't rich and famous when they're born. Like even in like wealthy families and famous families, like even the Smith kids and stuff. Like you have to kind of like get into that position. So it's almost like once they get into that position, it seems like that's when like the wheels start falling off. I've noticed that with a lot of people, like celebrities who I like, and it's like, I feel like it's comfort, like them getting really comfortable, like in their celebrity. And again, I don't know, but like when you're a famous person, because fame is, I feel like, much different than even like money. Like there are people who aren't famous who are way richer than any actor out there. Let's go highest paid actor. Yeah, man, the guy who owns DuPont, he could buy LA if he wanted to. Like that's real. Like he could pretty much buy up so much real estate, he could own half of the entire city, and like that's real. And I really do believe that. There's some guy who owns like a bunch of land. He's like the #1 landowner in America, and he's just some regular dude. It's not Trump, it's not Will Smith, it's not Joe Rogan, it's not Obama, it's not nobody. It's just some dude. Not some dude, but he's a guy who no one knows about. So it's almost like I feel like the fame mixed with so much money, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what, and also the culture around there. Maybe that's what makes people kind of want to do these like crazy, like weird, chain bitches up in the basement type things, Because regular guys do that, but again, like you're right, it's like a higher rate amongst the rich and famous.
Another thing is, it could be like an adrenaline thing, man. Like, if you're rich and famous, if you're out doing things, going to Hawaii and stuff, I feel like just like the mundane shit would be boring, like a lot quicker.
Right. Yeah, like it might be like part hardwiring and also environment. Like, yeah. Like the environment of, like you're saying, like just getting bored with all of it. Because again, if you have a natural proclivity to need more excitement, to feel excited, because some people are like that. That's why some people are bungee jumpers. And some people, you look at an exciting movie and you feel like a sensation of, well, this is interesting. Well, other people, like, you have to like be bungee jumpers to feel that same feeling. or be like free climbers. That's the guy who there was like a documentary that came out recently about the dude who's like a free climber. He just climbs with his hands up these crazy steep cliffs, and it's I think I remember hearing, I haven't seen the documentary yet. I'm going to watch it, but I remember hearing that doctors in the documentary were saying that he like his brain is different, like he's kind of set up differently, where he needs to free climb on the side of a of a cliff that's like 95 degrees straight up and down, and he has to free climb on that to feel the same rush you feel, if you're having some really, really good sex, like really good brand new sex when you're young or whatever. Like to feel that same feeling that's great, he has to climb up a mountain to do that, and he's just set up differently. So maybe that's what I mean. Like, think about it. If you're already set up that way, and then you become rich and famous, which is different. Rich and famous, it's like, dude, you might end up tying some bitches up in the basement. You might go fucking what's that movie with Christian Bale where he plays the dude? He's like some successful guy, and you should, I feel
50
like
Shades?
No, it's not. No, it's older. It's like from the 80s. It's like not our generation's movie. It's like, fuck, oh man, dude. All right, if you guys know, leave it in the comments if you're listening to this on YouTube. But man, I can't think of the movie. But it's like Christian Bale, the guy who played Batman, like Dark Knight Batman, right? And he's like this like successful dude in the 80s, like they used to call him Guppies, and he's like this like young guppy guy. He's making all this money, but he's a psychopath. And he's not, and he like wakes up in the morning, he works out super hard, he like fucking like washes his face and peels off like the mask and stuff, like there's like not his face, but he peels off like the facial mask he puts on, it hardens, and he peels it off and shit. He's like, There's a scene where he's fucking these two girls, he's fucking this one girl, right, and the other girl is like off in the corner, like, oh shit, we're both getting dick, and then he just starts stabbing the one he's fucking, and then it gets crazy, and the other girl's like, oh my god, and he chases the other one out of the apartment, and she runs down the stairwell, and he has this gets kind of cartoonish, because this guppy guy, Yuppie or Guppy? It's Yuppie. I'm sorry, it's Yuppie. This Yuppie guy who's like young, making money. He has a chainsaw in his apartment for some reason. So he takes like this big yellow fucking Home Depot chainsaw. It's like 1982 or 1988. He's running down the hallway. And she's running down the fucking stairwell. And then he just takes it and holds it like this. And she's like running. And then somehow he drops it and it falls. And I guess it kills her. It didn't show it killing her. I don't think. It might have. I don't know, but I do remember that part of the clip that I saw. He drops the chainsaw, and yeah, that was a crazy scene, man. What the fuck was I talking about?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent. I'm sorry, dude. I did. I'm sorry, man. I started thinking of the Christian Bale scene, and I was like, holy fuck. Oh yeah. Why people like start like tripping and like doing like insane shit. That's pretty much what we were talking about. People getting uncomfortable. Do you have anything else like to add to that? Like why maybe celebrities in particular do crazy shit? Got us back on track, nigga.
Not really, man. You kind of hit it. It's just really interesting to see like all the child stars that we had growing up, like Demi Lovato, and I mean child stars like that. Yeah. Britney. Was she a child star? Britney Spears?
Yeah, she was. She was on Mickey Mouse Club. She was on that with Justin Timberlake. I think they were on that together.
Yeah, okay. And you see them doing some crazy shit like shooting up heroin.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I'm like, you're so rich. Why are you shooting up heroin?
Yeah, that's not
that extra. You need that extra
little
substance to feel alive, I guess.
Right.
You've already felt everything and done everything. You need that extra.
Right.
That extra oomph.
So maybe it kind of does make sense. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure she was a child star too.
Demi Lovato?
No, I'm saying Demi Lovato was.
Definitely was.
I'm saying Britney Spears, I think, was one as well. And I know Justin Timberlake was. I know he was on Mickey Mouse Club because I remember like watching him on it when I was a kid. But I think Britney Spears might have been as well.
Either way, she was pretty young when she started her music career.
Right? Yeah, she was super young.
She was still an adolescent.
Regardless, yeah. It is really an interesting thing, man. It is an interesting thing. It is, yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't want to talk shit on Hollywood. I'm going to go out there, hopefully this summer. I'm going to see how things go with this whole podcast thing. But hopefully, I'd love to go out to LA this summer. But yeah, man, RKelly, hopefully you didn't do it. I don't know. I feel like you did, though. There's a lot of evidence going.
She was on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
She was. Aha, I knew it. Yes, there we go. Boom. Beautiful. Damn, Nick's doing a job, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Co-star.
Co-star. Nick Oakley co-star. Got the Ron Burgundy. I'm co-star, nigga. No, I'm keeping it in, bro.
Yeah, I don't know my name.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't worry. We'll dig that up. Beep. Big, yeah. Beep. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. But no, yeah, I'll take it out. Liberals versus conservative? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wanted to end on this with you because we're at like 40 minutes and it's like episode number 4. I'm definitely going to go longer in the future. But shit, man, it is a
Richmond's just a
Wednesday
very
night.
interesting political battleground.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Democrats versus Republicans, like specifically, and like generally speaking. I mean, yeah, because those are the two like, most predominant. Like, I mean, so I'm not hearing the Green Party in Richmond, but my point is with the whole thing going on in Central VA as far as politics, we are a purple state. And like that's what we keep getting called, and it is almost like it seems like it's around. It always hovers around 50-50 as far as liberals versus conservatives. And of course, I say Democrats versus Republicans because if you're a liberal, then you are prone to say you're a Democrat. If you're conservative, you're prone to say you're a Republican. Even though with our generation, there are more.
There's definitely more.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify my point. On that. But yeah. And
yeah, man, it's interesting.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Wow. All right. We're back. We had a little technical difficulty. Cut us off at 42 instead of an hour. I think that was me. But yeah, you were talking about Richmond and the political makeup of the city. I feel like because you do have some like activism background, like more activism background than I have. Because I've never done any type of activism in Richmond. But you have. Do you want to talk to us about any activism you've done in the city?
I'm not gonna talk about my activism background because I'm not part of that anymore.
Carpet bomber? Were you a carpet bomber or something? I mean, God, I knew, but I understand. I respect that. I got you.
But I've seen a lot of I've seen fist fights over politics up at VCU. I've seen people getting jumped over politics near VCU. Over things
that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean. I don't want to disclose anything about you personally, but like what when you were involved in that, what did you want to tell like a story about what you've seen, like any specifics? Because I don't have any real experience with that side of things. Like as far as like seeing people like get violent as far as politics. All I've seen is YouTube videos. I'll be honest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Back again. Do you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, so we're back. We're talking about the political landscape in RVA. Specifically, the political landscape amongst the young adults and that effect it has on...
Right, yeah.
Basically on the area. So a lot of people seem to think that Richmond is strictly liberal, but in my experience, I've seen a lot of different political ideas being shown in Richmond.
Right, there's a lot of, I would say in my experience, it's almost like the liberal representation you see is more on the surface, but if you actually talk to people and if you're like really from the area like we are, it's just the whole Central VA area, like the RVA in general, it's like the conservative representation is there. You know, people just, it doesn't make the news.
Right.
It doesn't make CNN or even Fox News and stuff. You know, it doesn't really make the news. Yeah, go ahead. I don't want to derail you. Go ahead.
No, that's all good. Just building upon what you said, yeah, the more conservative right-wing ideals are definitely there. They are just under the rafters a little bit. Like, well, I saw the other day on VCU campus in IHOP.
Oh shit, the IHOP on VCU, like the one that's in like it's like a part
it's like
of
a fast food IHOP.
Yeah, it's like the one that's like in like that little food court. It's
yeah,
a part of. Oh, okay, that IHOP. Oh shit, yeah, that's always
like on the surface. If you go to Richmond,
yeah,
you see all these political stickers, which are mainly like liberal leftist stickers, like resist hate and all that kind of stuff, which is fine and well. But what I'm talking about, which I want to talk about, is the right wing ideals that you see, which are kind of beneath the curtains a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the IHOP at the food court, in the bathroom. I was there checking on a friend that goes to VCU, and when I went in there, I saw in the stall, "You will not replace us," which is a common slogan again from what are they?
Kind of like the alt-right.
Yeah, the alt-right, right, kids.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah, okay.
And I just thought it was interesting because, walking around VCU, people wear short shirts like Black Lives Matter, resist hate, dump Trump, and all that kind of stuff. And it was just very shocking to see something like that when you're not expecting it, especially. You don't expect VCU kids to be writing things like that.
Right,
exactly. Stalls. And I think there's a lot larger right-wing presence in Richmond than people think about. Because the right-wingers aren't wearing shirts that basically explain their political viewpoints. It's kind of, behind the scenes. They don't want to, basically get into any, confrontations about it. Which I'm not condoning any of that stuff that they believe in.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and neither, I think either one of us are. It's interesting, though, you say, you saw that, in, a stall. And again, they will not replace us. That was what they were chanting in Charlottesville. What was that, 2 years ago?
Unite the Right.
The Unite the Right rally. What was that, 2 years ago though?
Yeah,
something like that.
It was like a year or two.
Something. It was something like that. And it's definitely not something that represents all conservatives at all. Not. Definitely not. But it is. It is something that's kind of on the... It's like an extremist...
You see it more because it's more extreme.
Right, exactly. It's like an extremist...
It's in the news more.
But it is conservative. It is conservative. Just like Black Lives Matter. It is, but it is. Just like Black Lives Matter is... At times they can be very extreme, but they still fall under the liberal umbrella. Again, I'm not saying these are the people that you should be listening to, or that you should think that they represent everything else. But just again, they will not replace those people and the Black Lives Matter people. It's again, trust me, if you had any member of either one of those groups right here, right now, in this room with us talking, and they were guests and stuff, it'd be like a fucking fist fight because they're both radicals, you see. But again, you cannot deny that Black Lives Matter is liberal. You cannot deny Unite the Right rally was not conservatively based.
Definitely. That's why I'm glad I stepped away from the whole political landscape. I'm pretty apolitical now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can look at things objectively and see that extremism on both sides is just awful.
Yeah. Right. I think that's healthy to be our age and be in your early to mid 20s and be apolitical, like you said. I think that's a great way to put it. Just to finish my point, I feel like again, those are fringe groups. They do not represent conservatives or liberals, but it is hard to deny that. And your point being, I don't know if this is your point, but your whole story about what you saw on that bathroom wall. Again, you saw Unite the Right on a bathroom wall. You're just there seeing a friend at a local college, the biggest local college really, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, and you see that on a wall, and it's like, no matter where that comes from, again, that's a conservative message, a fringe conservative message that many conservatives, including yourself, conservatives that are good friends of mine, people I know from work and all that, who aren't that way, but they are conservatives. It's interesting how, again, no matter what it is, the conservative viewpoint is kind of, it's suppressed. So maybe their fringe group, again, Black Lives Matter is fringe, but they'll wear it on their shirt.
Yeah, they'll wear it on
their shirt, right? Exactly. And even though they are fringe and a liberal like myself, and I'm a proud liberal, I'll look at some of the activities and be like, I don't know, but they can still wear it on their shirt. And I might be crazy for saying that, but again, when it comes to the right wing fringe, it's almost like, they won't even be listened to. And I feel like Black Lives Matter would be a lot more violent and crazy if they weren't listened to. But the same thing said for Unite the Right. It's like, well, if they're not at least listened to. And again, a lot of those dudes there, again, whatever, at that specific rally. But again, talking about other people who might be online saying crazy things. I've been that way. I've been that crazy liberal saying crazy things. But it's like, when people just shut you out and don't listen to you, you're like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna up the ante. You know what I mean? It's like anything. It's like when you're a little kid and your dad or your mom or whatever, your uncle, whatever, says don't do that, and they just say well, don't do that. You're stupid for doing that. You want to do it 10 times more, don't you? Mm-hmm. But if they sit down and listen to you and say, well, what's going on? Why do you want to do that? Why are you writing on walls? What's going on? Then you might realize, this is kind of silly. I'm making sense on some things, but this is kind of silly. That was just my whole point. It's interesting how you saw that message and it was on the back of a stall, but maybe if someone was wearing a shirt that said that, and they were allowed to and to get beat up for it, and people sat and like talked to them a little bit, then it might not change their mind, but they might say, I still believe in this, but I'm not going to go out and punch anybody. There are a lot of people who wear Black Lives Matter who don't want to go out and punch people. The whole hate Nazis thing, they're like, well, I hate Nazis, as Americans we should, but they're not going to punch anybody because they might be wearing something they don't believe in. There are a lot of people in Black Lives Matter who are that way. But again, the members that aren't listened to and stuff, they're the ones hitting people. Just like with Unite the Right, the members that might hit someone with their car to like flee or whatever was going on with that whole thing. The guy who hit the woman with his car, who was a white lady. I feel like again he's just like the person in Black Lives Matter who's going to flip the police car. It's like I feel like again I believe there might have been a few guys at that rally who looked at him and said, "Dude, that's not what we're trying to do." And y'all got pitchforks and oh god, like what just like Black Lives Matter. Sometimes like yeah, Black lives do matter. I believe that, but then sometimes I look at some news footage and I'm like, oh Jesus, niggas are flipping cop cars.
I think it's also the alt-right's own fault that they are so underground and disregarded. I mean, doing crazy things, not even crazy, just childish things like graffiti on a bathroom stall. I think deep down, if the only way to convey your message is to, in secret, write messages on a bathroom wall, I think deep down you know it's wrong.
Right. That's a very good point. I do definitely agree. Full disclaimer, I'm very aware of that, where it's like, well, again, because if it was something decent to say, then maybe they would be allowed to wear it on their shirts. So obviously, again, I don't want to pull the race card at all, but as a young black man, it's just as a young person who's open-minded, just like you are, it's like, I definitely agree with you on that, where it's like, yeah, if you know if you have to write it on a bathroom stall, it's probably not the right thing to say.
Just to build on that, a lot of the fringe right-wing, they know it's not going to be well received, like, a lot of their, like, I don't know, it's not even a mission, it's propaganda spreading. They do it at nighttime when no one will see. You know what I mean? So there won't be that confrontation, because they know that if they spread hateful messages or something like that, someone's going to say something.
Right.
So they have to do it under the cover of night, in the dark, when no one's out. And normally it's taken down by the morning, but, like, even still, like, I think if your ideals are so fringe that you have to, the only way to spread your message is in a bathroom stall or under the cover of night. Yeah. You gotta look at yourself a little bit.
You look at yourself and say, yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. I mean, damn. I'm gonna steal all your words. So I like how you say that. But yeah, just to build off of what you're saying, like I would agree. Like if you have to write on a bathroom stall or anything, you know it's not the right thing to say. But same thing with like, excuse me, like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. Like if you're not able to, and this is one thing that I had to deal with in my late teens and very early 20s. If you look at some of my old Facebook posts, I was saying really dumb shit. I was saying really stupid stuff I shouldn't have been saying to people, man. And saying it just as far as race and politics, I did not know what the fuck I was talking about. I mean, and I'll admit that. I left those posts up. I could delete them or take them down, but you guys can go look at them right now. I mean, my Facebook's probably linked in the description. I don't care. Because that's what I said, and I want to leave that up to remind myself as how far I've come with, like, changing my opinion on things. And that's kind of the root. Again, that's why I like having you as a guest, because I feel like you're kind of the guest in my mind. At least when I think of you, I think of redemption and the whole idea of redemption and how it's not a bad thing. Definitely. And not at all. And there's a lot of masculine strength in that. But
I mean, you got to be a real man to admit that you're wrong about something.
Exactly.
And it doesn't take a lot of strength to hate someone.
Right.
To accept someone, like, definitely, it takes more strength to accept someone than hate someone.
Definitely. I mean, especially, any family situation or family members, or like close friends or relationships, it's like, yeah, we all know about that. It's like, we all have our own stories about that, where it's like, man, it really does take more effort to love someone and forgive someone and say, all right.
And it's especially, I know more about the right wing, so that's why I'm getting on them more. Yeah, but it's their own fault.
Yeah. And that's one thing interesting too. I wanted to like kind of point out to us and the audience. It's like, man, because I'm liberal and like you're more conservative, but it's interesting how like you're kind of getting more on the conservative people now, and I'm kind of getting more on my liberal folks now, because it's like when you know more about that side, it's like, yo, I know you can do better than this. You know what I mean? Like, why is this on a bathroom stall? It's like, why are you flipping a cop car? It's like, I know because I know you, and it's like I know you can do better. So that's one thing I wanted to point out, because again, like, full disclaimer, if you don't mind me saying, I feel like you are a little more conservative. I am more liberal. But
just
it's funny. Yeah, just a little bit. And again, I'm not super liberal, whether it's a good word or bad word. But it's interesting how we're kind of looking at our own sides, not going at them, but saying, "Really, nigga, like a car flip." You know,
I have both liberal and conservative aspects. So I like to like label myself more of like a moderate now.
Well, you're like a moderate conservative, or just a moderate?
Just in general, I'm probably like right down the middle. I feel like there's certain subjects that we need to be more liberal with, and certain subjects that we need to be more conservative with. Just to like, I'm a big common sense person. If something's like obviously not right, we need to fix it.
Right. So, like, what are some examples of things you feel like we should be more conservative about? Like, are you talking socially? Are you talking economically? Are you talking as far as foreign?
I'm talking
policy?
more like socially, because I'm not super big in economics and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think I'm well read enough on that to discuss it. But I mean, I'm a human being. Right. And I've been in social interactions, of course.
Right, yeah. I feel like we're all like low key experts on sociology, low key, because it's like everyone has to be social. You know, it's like I'm not a water expert, but I kind of am, because I'm a human, and water is essential to like my being. So I'm not an expert on like every little molecule, but I see what you're saying. It's like, you know, we all have been socially involved since day one. So yeah, go ahead.
What was the question?
Well, no, it wasn't a question. I did. It was more. I guess I was building upon what you had said about us being all being. Are you saying that I'm not really into finance, but I am into sociology. So what do you feel like socially is something that we can be more conservative about?
I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but I don't think that we should be letting like transgender athletes be competing as the gender of their choice.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're physical. I mean, in physical sports especially, there's definitely differences between men and women. Mm-hmm. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're just built differently. We're meant to do different things. And in certain sports, having that testosterone in your body is a definite advantage. Is actually an unfair advantage.
Super unfair. I mean, I never grew up with any sisters or anything, but I have friends who have sisters, and like I grew up with them and witnessed like them with their sisters. And look, man, I have a buddy. His name's Zach, and like growing up, he was like a brother to me, and his sister was like a little sister to me, and like we'd always hang out and stuff. And now his sister's like some type of like, she's like a CrossFit athlete, like bodybuilder, like she's
nice.
She really she's really successful. She goes to West Virginia University. I don't want to drop her name or anything, but she's very very successful as far as athletics goes, and so is he. He's very athletic as well. But even growing up, man, like they would always go like work out and stuff like with their dad, and like go to the gym and all that. And but no matter what, like he's stronger than her, and that's something that like, again, I knew that even though I didn't have a sister at home, but it's like he's stronger than his sister, and like I remember his mother always reminding him of that, and really it reminded me of my mom reminding me of that, like, hey, you're stronger than women, and that's not a social construct, like you're saying, like, it's not it's not a social construct. You can have the surgery. It seems like you can go on estrogen, and your voice can go really high. You can start getting hips like a girl, and all types of shit is going on, but you're still stronger than that female. And I've heard some things, man, like there's even more advantages. Like when it comes to like estrogen, if you're a man, you've developed as a man, you're in your 40s and you start taking estrogen. I wish we had like someone here like really pull up all this detailed shit, but it's like I heard that I think it makes your bones actually more dense. Like when you start just taking estrogen, it actually makes you, if you're a guy, if you're a natural man, if you're natural man, you start taking estrogen, and like once you're in middle age, like in your 40s or 30s or whatever, it's like, dude, I guess middle age more like your 40s and 50s, and you start taking that, your bones get harder, bro. So like when these dudes are like, I haven't seen MMA or boxing, and I don't want to see that. I would not look at that. Like a dude, like a transgender female fighting a natural female doing boxing. I don't even want to watch that. But I have seen like the wrestling and the running competitions. It's insane. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I hate seeing that. It's like
it's just wrong on so many levels. These women have been training sometimes their whole lives, conditioning themselves every single day just to be outdone by a dude in a dress.
Yeah, a dude in a dress. I'm sorry. It's all good. We can say it on this podcast. It's okay. We're on Spotify. It's okay. We haven't said any slurs. We're fine. But yeah, I mean that's.
But
pretty much what it is.
on the same coin, socially, I don't think that we should be shaming anyone. Of
course not. Of course not.
I don't think that transgenderism is wrong at all.
If you're someone and you want me to call you by any name, I don't care.
It's just polite to do so.
It's just polite to do so. I don't care because I've been around people who were extremely like mentally ill, and I'm not necessarily putting transgenderism in that category, but I'm saying just for people who are mentally ill or addicted to something, or someone who's going through something where for a moment you have to kind of like play along. You see what I'm saying? And not play along, but you have to, again, like you're saying, respect them. You have to respect them and say, well, here, this is your perception. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna at least pay you the respect of that being your. I feel like, okay, maybe because I don't want people to misinterpret. Like, let's say like with religion, right? Like I'm a Southern Baptist, right? But if someone is a Catholic, and let's say you're staying in my home and you're a Catholic, and you have like the rosary beads that Catholics use and they use in their prayers, and you're in my home and you have rosary beads. And you're like, and you leave your rosary beads like on the table or something like that. I'm not going to move your rosary beads. I'm not going to do anything to your rosary beads. I'm going to ask you, hey man, do you want us to put these somewhere? You good? Do you need anything? This, that, and the third. As far as your religion goes, and the same thing I feel like you're saying. I'm building off what you're saying about the transgenderism thing. Like, yeah, when it comes to sports. All right, we got to figure something out. But if you're
there's a certain point that we have to draw the line.
Where we have to draw the line, right? But if you're a transgender person and you're in my home, I'm going to respect you. If you want me to call you Sheila or Susie or whatever, not being funny, but like, yeah, I will call the transgender person that. Just like if you're a Catholic and you have rosary beads, I'm going to respect your rosary beads. But if you're a Catholic and you're in my house and you start telling me that, okay, well, hey, the Pope's on TV. You want to look at the Pope? I'm like, yeah, sure. But if you're like, okay, we have to look at the Pope this entire speech and you guys have to pray with me, I'm like, all right, man. Now you're taking it a bit far. Like we're already looking at the Pope. You feel me? Like it's cool, but to me that's just a guy. Like you know what I mean? All due respect to the Pope because he's a Christian leader and just a man of respect, and he has earned that position. But at the end of the day, you're not going to come into my house and tell me you and your whole family now have to be Catholics. No. You're a Catholic, and that's great, and respect you and look at the Pope. But I'm not Catholic, necessarily.
Let's redact back to the political landscape in RVA.
Yeah. I have gone kind of far outside of that. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's just mind blowing to me to see because you see these things on TV, you see it on the internet that these groups exist, but to actually see it in real life with your own eyes is just another experience. You know what I mean?
Sure,
to see people, the Unite the Right Wing. I don't know what to call them.
I think it was called like the Unite the
Right.
I would say
alt-right people. Yeah, to actually see them doing graffiti on walls and stuff like that. It's just to see that with your own eyes is another. Just like wow, people in RVA actually believe this. They're actually out here doing this.
Yeah,
Same thing with Antifa. I've seen Antifa graffiti.
Really? Are you serious?
I have. It was Museum District.
Wow, but I mean that's serious. That's crazy. I would never think that Antifa was in Richmond at all. This is my first time hearing this.
There's actually not as large as like Washington, but there's actually a sizable Antifa presence in Richmond.
Wow, man. I was not aware of that. I'd love to learn more about that and maybe even interview people. That's really interesting.
I've seen conflicts between right wingers and Antifa members, physical conflicts. In Richmond with my own eyes. And I think that's a big part of them just being young, like young adults. I think that young adults should probably learn more about politics before just jumping into it. I feel like young adults express themselves with emotions more, and that leads to physical conflicts more. If you really feel something, you're going to do something about it. And that's why there's so many conflicts with they're alt-right and Antifa.
Right. Because all those videos you see about
they're younger.
They're all young
in their 20s
on both sides. And I've seen a lot of those videos, and it's and I do have a lot of my own personal theories about why this is, but it seems like liberal people usually, especially in these videos, when you have Antifa and the alt-right having physical conflicts, it's almost like the liberals always usually look more young and innocent, and the conservatives usually look older and more capable of doing physical harm. But at the end of the day, if you really look at the people objectively and look into these stories, they're both young people. Like, they're both young people. You know, if you look at like, oh, this person, and it might look really crazy, like on television, like, oh, this big dude with a beard came in and punched this tiny guy. But it's like, dude, but they're the same age. And if you really look at them, they have different physicalities, but they're both capable of doing something. I just feel like, I don't want to off track at all, but just it seems like liberals kind of have like more of a physicality and personality where it seems like they're less capable of physical harm in general. In general, you know, because Joe Rogan, he's like a liberal, quote unquote, but he's very capable of physical harm to someone like you or I who doesn't have like fighting training, but. It just seems that way when I look at those videos of those people like actually having physical confrontations. Again, I did not know this about Richmond, but like again, like places like Seattle, LA. You know what I'm talking about? Those videos where people actually fight. You know, but you know what I mean? Like it seems like the conservative guys usually look like big dudes, and the liberal people are smaller, but they're the same age, and they, you know.
It's just interesting. Also, being in the internet age, especially young people in fringe groups. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna grow out of that. Like 95% of those kids are going to grow out of that. Right. And it's going to be embarrassing to them having video evidence of them doing extreme right-wing or left-wing or whatever have you, activities. Yeah. I mean, that can ruin someone's life forever. I remember Unite the Right, they doxed a lot of those kids.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's one reason. Like, that's like I was saying, like, when I said the people who were there, like, I'm not sure if they were all like great people or what they were about. I was actually thinking about when I looked at all the doxing information came out on them. Like, they would have the person's picture. Is that what if
you look at Unite the Right, like the videos, I think it's interesting to see like the majority of the people there, the alt-right or whatever, were younger people in their 20s or early 30s on the fringe, like alt-right, and then you see like the older race, like the actual racists in like the KKK or I don't even know, whatever groups have you, that they're older, and it's like, oh, those people aren't going to change. But like a lot of those kids, I bet a lot of those kids in the alt-right at Charlottesville saw like, okay, this is some crazy shit. I don't want to be in this anymore.
They probably saw what people actually were saying.
But now there's videos of them. They're going to be forever labeled as an extremist, as a racist, as whatever.
There's videos of them what, saying that?
With, like, tiki torches or whatever they're doing.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You will not replace us. And they get doxxed, and they're like, hey, man, I don't even believe in this anymore. Yeah. Or, I hope they don't.
I thought, you hope they wouldn't. I thought you were saying, like, there were videos of them now, like, kind of saying, like, well, like...
No, I'm sure they're going to outgrow it. Like, a lot of extremism, you get more mellow as you age.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you grow up, you mature, man, you learn more.
It's just sad to see, like... And they did it to themselves, but you gotta have, like, I feel like you need to have some leniency with younger people. And I'm not saying you need to have leniency for racism at all, but what I'm saying is if you see a younger person doing, like, extremist activities or whatever like that, I feel like 9 out of 10 times, if you look at, like, the populations of the extremists at Unite the Right, there wasn't that many old people there. They're gonna grow out of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're gonna have families, they're gonna meet someone... Right. They're gonna calm down a lot.
Exactly. They're not gonna like
be
like
the stick
same
to that
guys.
ideology.
Like I'm not the same person I was.
I'm not even the same person I was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. Damn, yeah. Well, that's true. That's a good. That's I think true for a lot of people. But I mean, even
especially young people, because young people change more so than older people do.
Or even if you think about like actually like years, like you gotta think about like when it comes to like think of yourself 3 years ago. Oh, God. You weren't the same person, and it's like, well, think of this person who's like even 27, and like went to the Unite the Right rally. In 3 years, they might not be the same person. But if you hate that person, you don't even treat that person like a human, no matter what that person says to you, or what happens, you don't treat that person like a human being. Then there is no waking them up, and I think that's the whole thing too. Like I think changing people, I don't want to change anybody. So I think we were all born into this world perfect. I'm sorry. I mean, again, I know human beings have like the natural urge to take and hate, but we also have the natural urge to love. Seriously, we also have the natural urge to love and to prosper and to all these things. But I feel like the natural human being when we're born, we're perfect.
No one's born a racist.
Yeah, no one's born a racist. No one's born, again, even like naivety. Like, oh, we're all naive when we're young. I don't think that. I think naivety is learned. I think when people let people take advantage of them, I think that's learned. I think most human beings, again, we're not perfect when we're born. We need to be filled with love from other people. But yeah, exactly. But you're right. No one's born all these negative things people say, like naive or racist or gluttonous or you know what I mean, selfish necessarily. I feel like, again, when we're all born, I think we're perfect, and it's like you kind of got to look at everyone that way. And it's almost like, well, and we all have things where like things went wrong, this, that, and the third. But anyone who you feel like, oh, this is my enemy, you should probably look at that person whoever your enemy is and say, well, at one point you were perfect, and I'm not perfect now at all, but at one point we were both perfect. And if you're going to be someone who's at least in proximity to me, let's help each other get back to that. Let's help each other get back to where we were when we first got here, day one, when there was nothing wrong. And I think that's really, really important. I wish more people, especially politically and specifically socially, like the social politics of this all, I wish people would get back to that. Like, okay, but we're not, like, nothing's really wrong if you think about it. Maybe just, the wrong idea got in, or the wrong situation happened, or again, like we were poking fun at our friend the other night about maybe your gut biome. Maybe your gut biome's fucked up, but you never know. But it's like you gotta give somebody the benefit of the fucking doubt to say, hey, exactly, man, right, yeah, hey, you never know what's going on with this person.
But I just do wish that a lot of the extreme alt-right, I like to say kids, because most of them are kids.
Really young, yeah.
Almost all of them are kids.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd see the error of their ways. You're not gonna get anything done by writing on a bathroom stall in IHOP.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get anything done by which we're gonna talk about next.
It just becomes like a podcast.
They're not gonna get anything done by putting graffiti on a piece of artwork.
Right, like ruining a mural or anything.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. We did have to get to that.
Yeah.
Because I want that to be the thumbnail. I forgot we haven't even talked about that yet. Because we talked about everything else.
This needs to be the short clip.
Yeah. This needs to be this needs to be the highlight. Wait, I have to pee first.
Yeah, Paul.
All right, where is it? No, fuck that. We can keep going. I just edited. Talk about something. Talk about how you eating my fucking now-and-laters, dog. He's eating my now-and-laters. No, I saw that shit, bro. Yeah, bro. I seen you. No, I'm joking. Those shits are good, though, because, I bought my grandma some earlier, but they have, the chewy, the softer ones. They have, those hard ones. Because those are, the old-school hard ones. They're kind of hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the old-school ones. I got her the soft ones, bro. I love now-and-laters, bro. They're 25 cents, bro.
Damn, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We can crush that ad. It's whatever, bro. Yo, you gotta keep talking, Nick. While I'm peeing, you gotta keep talking.
Alright.
Come on, man. It's like Joe Rogan, bro. When Joe goes
I'm waiting for you to shut up.
Oh!
So you don't have to edit out, me talking.
Oh! You a Jew. No.
Hey, I'm gonna put that in there, bro. But yeah.
This nigga, bro. You paused it.
Nah, bro.
Nah, bro. Yeah, you did.
On air.
You on
I got
air.
you.
You on air?
I got you.
Oh, word.
I got you saying anti-Semitic slurs, bro.
Anti-Semitic slurs? I know, bro. I did say you're a Jew, but I didn't mean it as a joke. Full disclaimer. It's a joke. I actually really enjoy Jewish people because I have been doing musical theater since I was really young, and a lot of Jewish people like musical theater, and seriously, a lot of them do. What's conspiracy? Do you think it's amazing? But yeah, man, I'll let you do that. Yeah, I'm coming right back over. I'm just checking my oregano. This podcast is coming to you live from Washington, D.C., where it's legal now. But alright. From Colorado. Hot up in
I don't even know the capital of Colorado.
It's not Lancaster. They just have a lot of money. What is it? Is it Denver? It's Denver, Colorado. I bet you it's Denver.
Yeah, it's Denver.
I feel like it's Denver. That's like the most popular one. Alright, cool. Yo, I need to go on Jeopardy. I need to go on Kid Jeopardy.
You shave your beard and you're like, yeah, I'm sorry.
Dude, dead ass, I could.
You could, bro.
Did you hear about that woman? There's been a few cases of that. But they pulled like she pulled like some weird like
eating all your letters.
Waiting to be kissed or whatever. No, you ain't, bro. Give me that. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
there's only one left. There's two left. Yeah, nigga, no, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. Eat up all my now and laters, bro. There was fucking 5 or 6 or something. This nigga will eat 3. Or he ate 4.
Hey,
no, nigga, I see you, bro.
You don't know my home situation.
Nigga, dog. Fuck out of here. You just bought groceries the other day.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
I ain't buying no now and laters though.
You should have.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
Back to the fringe politics. I just like to pick on the alt-right, so I'm going to do that a little bit more.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
As many of you know, in Richmond, Virginia, on the sides of buildings, there's often murals of artwork.
Yeah. Often murals of artwork. Go ahead.
But one location that I do frequent is a local oddities shop called Rust in Pieces, and on the side there's this it's a very beautiful mural of this African American man.
Mm-hmm. You sound like a news reporter right now. I'm not gonna, because I know you. You're not a regular guest. Like, I know you. You're like, very beautiful mural over now, African American.
I'm trying to be professional here.
Very professional.
Edit all this out.
No, it's good, bro. It's good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We are like opening up candy wrappers in the back, like
badass.
What? My nigga, what? My nigga, me? No, my nigga, you. That's you over right now. Shit, I've been losing weight, bro. That reminds me, dude. You want to go gym tomorrow? You want to maybe go gym? If not, if you're busy, it's straight. Because I'm gonna work out. I want to. Yeah, let's see what's up. If you want to go in like the afternoon, that'd be cool. Or maybe in the morning.
You know you gotta edit this out, right? You gotta edit all this out.
Why? What's wrong with you? Why gotta edit all this out?
We gotta make it like concise.
It's gonna be concise. It's gonna be concise. I mean, it's gonna come out concise. But I'm asking you about the gym tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not gonna get off track. We're talking about politics. What, we're going to the gym tomorrow or what?
I'll hit you up.
That's a yes. This thing gonna get bored. Like, I'll hit you up. That's what we'll talk about it on air. I don't want them to know where I go gym. This mother, man. All right, go ahead, bro. Nah, nigga. Cause I know damn well you're gonna say yes once the thing's off. But okay, fine. I want to.
You don't know me.
You don't know me. Shit, I'm like. Shit.
But yeah, the alt-right vandalized this mural on the Rust in Pieces building. Wrote a racial slur, which a lot of people don't really know about if you're not heavily into politics and especially social politics.
Yeah, like the term they put up there.
The term they wrote "We was Kings," which is
I'm familiar with it. But yeah, go ahead and explain for anyone who doesn't know.
For anyone that doesn't know, it's a derogatory slur towards African Americans, which is basically the purpose of that is just to put them down, to make them feel like they were nothing or something. Right. Like that.
The whole idea is like the African monarchs. Like the actual knowledge of the African monarchs has been lost. It was lost through slavery, and because of that, a lot of because I've heard a lot of people in the black community say that, and that's really what it is. So I do know what the term came from. Like, people in the black community would say that, oh, we used to be kings. We used to be kings. And it's kind of comedic, and I do find it funny, like, not for the reason that some people think I find it funny, because it's like, well, some people think it's offensive, but I find it funny that they think it's offensive, because I'm like, well, it's just funny to me. But the idea of the African monarchs got lost over time for a lot of African Americans. So if you take the stereotypical sort of in a way degrading sort of caricature of a black person talking and saying like, oh, we used to be, oh yeah, we was king. It's like saying like it's taking that whole idea, right? It's funny. It's fucking. It's funny, but it's
also not.
It's funny, but it's not. But again, right? And the only reason I'm laughing
about it, when people are serious about it,
when people are serious about it, it's not funny. But the fact that I can. At least, this is just me. I don't represent the black community at all, trust me. But at least for me, the fact that I can at least laugh at that. Because I know that it's funny to me because I'm choosing to laugh at it. And I'm not laughing, oh, that's a good joke. I'm laughing like, that is ridiculous. Like, it's just so ridiculous that I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. Because no one says that. We was kings. Like, I mean, if you're African American and you're aware of the fact that there used to be African monarchs, I highly doubt that you speak that way. And if you do, it's probably because most people around you speak that way, even the white people.
The saying is like a racist caricature of African Americans.
Exactly. That's why it's so fucked up. Right. Like when
that's why.
Right.
You're not going to get anywhere disrespecting someone's artwork or alienating a whole people.
Right.
That's not how you get your message across. And I think a lot of the young kids that do these kind of things are doing so very rash. Like, it's a rash decision. Like, I feel like if they thought about it for like a week, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
If they thought about it for a week, I don't think they'd do it.
Right, they wouldn't go ahead and do it, especially on the side of Rest in Pieces.
I mean, come on, it's like the best oddity shop in all of RVA.
Yeah, right. I haven't been yet, but I've been hearing about it for years. Because you and Reap Grimmer both have told me about it. Because I've known both of y'all for a little while personally, and like, I really want to go though, man. I want to check it out, but I didn't realize that because you told me about the graffiti. I remember you sent me the picture, like, yo, look at this shit. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
You thought
I was like, oh my god, yeah, I thought you did it. Bro. I was like, bruh. I was like, this motherfucker. But no. You showed me, and I was like, wow. But I didn't realize it was on the side of Rest in Pieces. But I've never really been in there, like that oddity shop. All, like,
it's really nice. Recently, they had a mummified cat get stolen, which is priceless.
Whoa, out of the shop?
Out of the shop. They didn't catch it on camera. They said, I asked them about it personally. They said it was a very busy day, and like the camera angle, the way it was angled, didn't catch the offender. So they got away with it. They're offering like, it's a couple $1,000 for like a reward for anyone that has information, you know, that leads up to the arrest of whoever or the return of the cat.
That's wild, man. Someone broke in and stole the mummified cat. I mean,
but you can't show it off. Like, there's nothing like that anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere, especially not around here.
So you can't show up like, hey, look what I got. Like, people are automatically gonna know.
Yeah, they gotta ship it. They gotta ship it like out of the country. But even that's risky. That's crazy. I wonder if it was that's my thing. I wonder if it was like a crackhead who was like, I just want this cat. Like, they don't know what to do with it, or if it was someone who like knew exactly what to do with it. It was like, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna send it to France and they're gonna send it to Egypt and Egypt's gonna pay me this many fucking Egyptian notes and I'm gonna transfer it and I'm gonna go to Canada, get my dick sucked, go to a Drake concert. You feel me? Like, I don't know. Like, that's my thing when you hear about a crime like that. Like, was it a crackhead or was it like a fucking genius? Like, was it like someone who like knew what they were doing? That sucks though. I feel bad for the business. Like, as a fellow, you know, someone who like is into
it's a small business owners.
Yeah, exactly. Small business owners and people who are trying to promote themselves. That sucks.
Stealing is wrong in general, but it's especially wrong to steal from a small business. Just because they're not like the corporations. I don't see corporations in the same light as these small businesses. Like, when I think about small businesses, I think about the owners as people.
Right.
When I think about corporations, I think about, you know, like the...
But they have insurance, and they have something called shrinkage where they pay for like what's stolen. That doesn't mean go into Walmart and like steal or go somewhere and steal. But at the end of the day, if someone goes in there and steals, it's going to hit
the small business owners a lot harder.
That's the thing. It's going to hit them a lot. Not even that's the thing. It's like, because that makes the implication that it's going to hit Walmart. It's not going to hit Walmart, dude, because that shit's insured. Like, they have insurance for stolen, like, merchandise, and they have something called shrinkage that they pay every year. They make sure to put them seriously. Something called shrinkage. They syndicate, you know.
No, I was like, I bet you know about that.
No, you know about that. Don't try to, no, you trying to get me. I bet you know about shrinkage. Don't be afraid to say the joke. Don't be afraid. Damn it. Anyways, there's something called shrinkage, where it's pretty much they pay for what they know people are going to steal like that much that year. I'm pretty sure. Like I assume they probably take like how much people stole last year, and they tally it up and say that was how much it was worth. Okay, let's just put that money aside for this year. That's probably how much you're going to steal this year. And again, that's not saying go out and steal. That's not, because again, that leads to like
Take
anarchy.
Down the evil corporations.
No, that leads to anarchy and crazy shit, and they would just start tasing people, and that's going to lead to more black people and white people getting killed by the cops, and I don't want that. So don't go out and steal. I'm just saying, it is something that's paid for, but adding to your point, it's like, yeah, like the small business owner's going to get fucking mollywopped from that. He's going to get fucking really hit from you going in there and stealing or doing something like that. Taking their cat. They're getting mollywopped, bruv.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that sucks about that cat, though. Rest in pieces. Rest in pieces, cat. It was Egyptian, you said? The cat was Egyptian?
I think it was. I don't know.
Man, either way, that's pretty cool. I wonder if it's... I really wonder, like, what type of person did it. Like, I wonder if it was,
maybe,
like...
Conspiracy? Maybe it was the same person that wrote We Was Kings on there.
Whoa, yeah, like they're already showing disrespect for the business. Like, oh, ha, 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 I don't respect nothing. Egyptian cat, where's that? In Africa? Fuck these niggas. Psh, he took the cat. He took the cat.
The only reason he knew was because
because it was from Africa. He was like, oh, it's an African cat? Well, I wrote We Was Kings on the side. I hate niggas. And he just took the shit.
God,
he took the shit out. And it was a black dude, too. That's the real twist.
Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus looking ass. Some nigga. He's some nigga from the North End. He just came in and took the cat. Oh, wow. If you're local, you know the North End. The North End's nice. There's a lot of black folks up there. But I'm sure there might be some Uncle Ruckuses. You never know.
Especially...
You never know. I mean, Uncle Ruckuses are everywhere. I'm not picking on the North End. They're everywhere. But yeah. Especially in Richmond. But yeah, that's for a whole other podcast about the history of the city and shit.
I just want to... I just really want to go back up to the museum district and see a black person sitting with those dudes that we saw.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that. I wanted to get to that story with you because this is a story that I was with you. Because a lot of the stories you tell on the podcast is like it's just like your experience, but like I was with you for this. We were at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, and before we went in, we were with it was you, me, and we were hanging out with this friend, and we're all walking up, and I'm not sure if we saw it or she saw.
It was me. First. I saw it.
You
first,
saw it. Yeah,
and I was like, hey,
yeah.
I want to go talk to these dudes.
Right. And she wanted to talk. Our friend, she wanted to go talk to them. And I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. But tell them why. Tell the audience why. I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to go over there, bro.
There was these two, I don't want to say old. They were older.
Older guys. Yeah, they're older.
Older.
They were elderly.
Very, very stereotypical redneck guys.
Yes, very, very.
With the pot bellies and suspenders on. And they had a portable, but not small. It was pretty big Confederate flag just that they brought with them, and they were handing out flyers about the Confederate statue removals.
Yeah. About they were removing the Confederate statues,
the memorials or something like that,
along Monument Avenue. All the big statues along Monument. How they were taking them down. They were kind of protesting that again, quietly and respectfully. It was just two dudes. Like you said, they did have very stereotypical potbelly redneck dudes.
They were very on guard when we approched too, because I think they thought that we were gonna mess with them.
Yeah, they were very on guard.
They thought we were gonna mess with them or like.
The three of us look like young people that would be like, "Fuck you guys, we don't." The three of us look like all three of us look that way. But we all had baby faces. Even though all three of us, bro, we so developed motherfuckers.
So, I mean, I don't have a baby face anymore. I got a beard, man.
I have a beard too, but you said baby face.
No, I don't, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Your hairline will make you look young.
I'm
joking, bro. I'm joking. You know what? Delete all this. Delete your. Come on, I'm fucking with you, bro.
Hold on.
Oh my god, he's like, I'm gonna show you a picture. You wanna talk shit? Because I got the shit braided back? Dude, seriously, dude, if I braid my shit back, look how big my forehead is, bro. If my shit's braided back. Seriously, if my shit's back in the clip. Seriously.
No, I just got a big forehead, bro.
I know, but I'm saying, look, but my forehead
look,
hey,
look.
Pulling up pictures.
You web search Scandinavian forehead, and this is the first image result.
Oh my god! Yo, let me see. Oh, I gotta make that a clip. We gotta
This guy? Come on.
That's true. Okay, that wow. He has like the what's flag is that? It's like the fucking like Swedish flag behind him. Or
yeah,
some shit.
It's Sweden.
Yeah. So it's like wow. Okay.
We all got big foreheads. All right.
Okay, fair enough. That's wow. That's really insane. Like you typed in big forehead, didn't you? Just forehead. Wow.
Scandinavian forehead.
Yeah, I knew that about Scandinavians. I just didn't. That's funny how you just type in Scandinavian forehead and it's all of them have very big foreheads.
All right,
fair enough. Right, relax. Relax. I'm sorry. What the fuck were we talking about?
The Monument Avenue protesters.
Right, okay, yeah, go ahead with that story. Sorry.
When we approached them, they were very on guard. They thought, I feel like they thought we were going to, like, attack them or something. I feel like they've had problems with younger people in the past that made them that way. Like, even when I asked them what they were protesting, they were on guard to even hand me, like, they were reluctant to even hand me a flyer.
They were. I do remember that. They were kind of reluctant to hand us, like, what they were, like, hand us, like, their flyers and pamphlets and stuff. I don't know if it's, maybe because I'm, like, trying to be optimistic. I don't think it was necessarily young people that have given them issues, but maybe, who knows, maybe people close to their own age, even. But just maybe people in general, we should say. Because I feel like
it was,
especially in that part of the city, though. You got to think about where they were. Because even that restaurant inside the museum, once we went inside, it was like mostly older folks and stuff. So
yeah, but that's where not most of it. A lot of Antifa graffiti is in the museum. Like I told you, is in the museum district.
Okay, right. So the Antifa crowds around there, and like some of the younger, more like liberal crowds around there. Radical liberals and all that. That's true, because a lot of college kids do stay in the museum district. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, regardless, they were. Yeah, I remember they were on guard. You're all right about that. But they did talk to us.
Yeah, I felt a little bit.
Talked to you and the white woman for a while.
She's not even white.
She is white.
No, she's not.
She's white. All right, we're not gonna blow up her spot, but our friend, like, bruh, she's white.
No, she's not.
She is. She's a dark-skinned white person.
Oh, I forgot who we went to with. Never mind.
Who are you thinking of?
I thought we went with,
Just give me a hint. Just don't say the name, but give me a hint. Who? Oh! Garacha! But yeah, no. But you know who I'm
yeah.
Right, okay,
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
All you had to say was dark-skinned white.
Yeah, I said dark-skinned white girl. You're like, what? White girl? No. Okay. See, man, we're both open-minded. We around all different types of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead with the story about how we talked to them, what we talked about, and
they were just protesting like the Confederate flag removals and all that kind of stuff. It's not like really something that I personally care about. I don't really care either way. Like,
right.
And I honestly don't feel like even they should care. Like, it's so long ago. Right. Why do you care? I understand. I feel like the reason that they were protesting the flag removal wasn't even about the flag in itself. I think they were more so protesting, like, the liberalization of...
Like, the area...
the culture. The culture. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really don't think they really cared about, like, the Confederate flag being removed. I think they were more so protesting, like... What's the word? Like...
It's not...
censorship.
Yeah, right, okay, there we go. Okay, yeah.
I think they're more so protesting censorship and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I thought you were looking for, like, gentrification of, like, censorship of like, kind of...
People getting offended and, like, oh, we have to take this down.
Right. And that's kind of that was kind of my whole point with, like, what you saw in the bathroom stall. Like, maybe if they were more listened to, they wouldn't be so on guard. But at the same time, it's like, well, again, like, you know, they and again, like, I'm black. I'm not exactly light-skinned. And so, yeah, you too. And Nick's black, too. Yeah. The MidnightSol. The MidnightSol.
Not Scandinavian whatsoever.
Not Scandinavian whatsoever. That forehead, that skin tone, that hair color, nothing about him Scandinavian. The braid, exactly, bro. The braid, all the Nordic shirts, the music, nothing about him. Nothing about him. This nigga, ooga booga, motherfucker. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. That probably blew out headphones if y'all heard that, but no, it's fine. I gotta drop something near my laptop. All right, but I'm saying like but it's all my thing is too like they kind of know like seeing a group like us, walking up, they kind of know like or they kind of assume or maybe kind of know this is the group that's gonna mess with us. But again, like we're a pretty good representation of the American public. We might be young and dumb.
We're actually a pretty diverse friend group.
Pretty diverse friend group. If you look at like if I associate you with people that we know, and he knows this person, I know this person, we've hung out, blah blah blah. It's like we're a pretty good representation of what's in America, and that's my thing. If a little slice of the American pie, right? If that walks up to you and says, are those types of people, right? Americans walk up to you and you think, oh God, they're gonna have a problem. Then maybe you're in the wrong a little bit. Like, and I understand you want the shit to come down, but maybe you're in the wrong a tiny bit. If a big, if a nice cross section of Americans walks up and you automatically think, oh, they're the enemy, and they're being nice. We're young people. We're being nice. Yeah. We're being nice as shit. Not being aggressive. We're not filming them or doing nothing weird. Being real cool and still on guard. And also just, not like letting us get a word in edgewise. Because if we are young people and you care about this movement and you don't really care about what you have to say, then you're gonna let the young people talk or let the other person talk or what have you. But it's almost like you're more about what you're doing and not exactly what this whole thing's supposed to be about, which is like preserving history. If that was the message, I feel like most Virginians would want to do that. Oh yeah, so preserve history, black or white. But that's not really the message. It is about race. It just ain't about race. It's about culture. But it seems like it's about race with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It seems like it is. But still, full disclaimer on my part, they were decent dudes and all, but man, it was really interesting talking to them. Yeah, it was really interesting talking to them.
And also, if you haven't, support and visit the Virginia Fine Arts Museum. Definitely.
Yeah, because that's where we were going the whole time. Yeah, Virginia. Definitely go support those guys. Definitely. We're getting to how much are we at? We're almost we have like 5 hours. Yeah. Well, no, it's like 1:45, I think. About 1:45. We can end it. Probably here because I wanted to talk about the Virginia Fine Arts Museum, but honestly, that might be it might end up being something else. And after I cut this off, I want to talk to you about it because I have something written, and I'm trying to make a lot of moves on my YouTube channel. I'm bringing it up while we're wrapping up and shouting out plugs. Go check me out on YouTube. You can find me Richmond's Favorite Son. I'm Richmond's Favorite Son on everything. So you can probably Google it or type it into YouTube or Facebook or Instagram and you'll find me. Richmond's Favorite Son. And again, this is me with
the MidnightSol.
The MidnightSol.
Midnight.Sol.
Do you have any
SOL?
SOL, not soul, 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 SOL, the MidnightSol, and that's a Scandinavian word.
The Midnight Sun.
Yeah, it means the midnight sun. Yeah. Very, very cool. It's awesome having you in, man. I love having you in. He's a very good friend of mine. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I guess we're out.
Yeah.
Damn, bro,